gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages and denominations, welcome to Off the Top Rope, the wrestling show that keeps you in the know. I'm your host, the Loudmouth. I'm still not in studio yet. I still haven't recovered from that heinous attack from Sarah Stone that will be dealt with accordingly. But once again, please do follow us on all our social media prompts. On Puma Kappa TV on Instagram, on their YouTube channel, MPK260, and of course on TikTok. You can follow WAWSA on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and of course myself on the Loudmouth Appreciation Society. Following that, to my left, we have got the HWA South Africa champion, Matthew Price. Calls himself Mr. One of One, Matthew Price. After the break, we are going to be talking about his wrestling career. He's still pretty young in his wrestling career, and we are going to get into the minutiae of his career, how's it going, the title, obviously, and what his aspirations are within the next year, 2 years, 5 years. So after the break, Mr. One-on-One, Matthew Price. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. Once again, follow us on all our social medias. They will be listed at the end of the show. With us, and I'm very excited for this because I love introducing people to new talent and fresh talent and things like this. And I believe that the gentleman that is with me tonight is possibly one of the guys that are going to take South African professional wrestling to new heights going forward from 2025 and beyond. Mr. One-on-One, I'll say one-on-one, one of one, Mr. Matthew Price. Matthew, how's it going, sir?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah,
That was a
man.
good introduction.
The
But
HWA,
I'm doing well.
the HWA South African champion. You've had the championship word for what now? 2 months, 3 months, maybe a little bit longer?
Uh, Long. I've had it since the 1st of June, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
Yeah, 1st of June.
1st of June.
So, with you being so young into your wrestling career, and you having the, shall we say, the responsibility of being a champion thrust upon your shoulders, does that give you a little bit of confidence, or does that put you in a position where you're like, well, I really need to step my game up?
I definitely need to step my game up there because we've had excellent champions
Hmm. Hmm.
before I have this championship, like Azazel, the longest reigning HW South African champion is Azazel, and I need to uh, um step up and show the people that, hey, he may be the longest reigning, but he's not the most important one to hold it. I
Yeah,
am, you know.
yeah, I
I
get
need
you.
definitely need to step up to the people that
I get you.
this is my time
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
shine.
Now you are. I don't even think you a year and a half into your wrestling career. Tell us how your wrestling career and how the path to wrestling came about.
Okay, so like any other wrestling fan and wrestler today, I've been a wrestling fan for years.
Hmm. Hmm.
And after completing high school, I decided, yo, I love this business, but I want to see what it's like to be in there,
Right,
not as a fan, as a
right.
wrestler. I want to see what it's like to entertain, to take the bumps, to take the heavy hits.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
decided to look for schools. For a few months, I had no luck until I found the Dungeon Pro Wrestling Academy,
Right.
which is in Krugersdorp
Hmm.
in QS. After I found it, first day was hectic because I've never done something like wrestling before, so it's definitely going to be hectic. It's definitely going to be painful. And ever since that day, I fell in love with the business even more.
Right, right.
You know, the love and appreciation and respect for the business grew from that day, which led to me being where I am today as the HWSA champ.
Cool, man. Cool. Right. Now, the Dungeon Pro Wrestling Academy up in Joburg is one of the clubs that is affiliated to WAWSA. The training, though, is supremely tough there at the Dungeon Wrestling Academy. Go through a standard training session that you guys do up there.
Okay, so standard training session. First thing you do is squats
Hmm.
on a day like a Saturday where we have the whole day to train. We can do up to 1,000 squats.
Right, right.
But on a weekday, like on a Wednesday or Monday, we generally do like 100, 200, 300 squats. And then after that, you do 5 laps
Hmm.
jogging. And then after that, typical warm up, start jumps, lunges, all the typical warm ups you do basically.
Hmm.
And then we get into the ring. When we get into the ring, we do our stretches, loosen up the body a little bit, and then we get to the drills.
Yeah.
From the drills, like everything you need to know about basics, we teach. They are taught by our coach, John Reward.
Hmm.
And then from the basics, we get to move executions, we get to holds, we get to transitions, chain wrestling, basically anything and everything to do with wrestling we are taught there, from promos, ring psychology, ring awareness. That's your typical training session, basically.
Right, right. Now, you're still, as I say, you're still fresh in your wrestling career. Describe the feeling that you had when you were going to have your first match and they played your music for the first time, and you knew it was like, okay, this is the time you're either going to sink or we're going to swim.
First match, bro, I was hella nervous, yo. I was nervous. Like it was heavy how nervous I was. I felt like I was gonna sink into the ground, you
Right,
know.
right.
But then as soon as I stepped through the curtain, the crowd went wild, started chanting my name. The nerves, when I saw all of that, the nerves died down a little bit,
Mhm,
but I
mhm.
still felt the nerve, like, I gotta perform. Otherwise, this is sink or swim for me.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
I sink, oh, you know, and I had the uh fortunate opportunity to be to for my match to be produced by um JD.
yeah.
And he produced a really good match for us, and I was in there with a very talented guy, Leroy Jenkins, for my first match, which was his second match at that time,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I put on a good match. Obviously, there was some points where I kind of slipped my mind a little bit because I was nervous,
Yeah, yeah,
but the adrenaline from the crowd, the adrenaline from being in the ring, it really helped those nerves calm down.
yeah, yeah,
And after that match, dude, I broke down. I broke down crying because I couldn't believe that I just had my first match and like I put on a good one.
right,
It was a
right.
nice good. The fans loved it. I loved it. But the nerves, man, the nerves, hey, they were hectic.
Yeah, man. Well, what we're going to do after the break, we're going to take a look at some highlights of some of your matches and things like that. I believe the highlights of one of our matches is in there as well. So after the break, we're going to talk about that, and then I'm going to ask a question about one of the most talented guys that you've been in the ring with. So, guys, stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. My guest on Zoom at the moment is Mr. One of One Matthew Price, the HWA South African champion. Matthew, we have been talking a lot about your psychology and promos and things like that. And the one guy that we've spoken about off air and around the table is a guy by the name of Mega Mandla, who's unfortunately taken some time off for your sabbatical. Now, I interviewed Chris Kotzer as well. And he said that Mega Mandla is one of the most talented wrestlers that he's had, and his best match was with Mandla. I think it was in Tsakani or one of the places like it. Who was your favorite opponent to work, or the best opponent that you worked in terms of ring psychology and just about moves and overall presentation?
Okay. Um, I can say in terms of ring psychology, I've worked with JD, Genre Watch,
Mhm.
known as JDX. I've worked with him. He's good at ring psychology, and he showed me how to work the crowd. When I was in the ring with him, I had to slow down.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
had to
yeah,
slow down so that he could work the crowd, get them angry, get them riled up, so that when I come back, they pop like heavily,
yeah,
heavily. And then in terms of like putting on a good match in ring, basically, I would say it's between Jax and Chris, but I've worked better matches with Jax.
right,
You know,
right.
I'm I've had the opportunity to work with Jax a couple of times, and I can say with full confidence that he is currently my um I'm currently married to Jax
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
in
get you.
ring.
I get you. I get you.
Yeah.
So now,
He's the guy you can put me against, and we would have a stellar match. Whether you need us to go 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, doesn't matter. We will put on a good match.
yeah, I get you. I get you. Let's talk about the night that you won the South African Championship. We're in Brakpan. Is it Brakpan or Springs?
Back then.
Springs, where the other training center of the Dungeon Pro Wrestling Training Center is on the East End. You and I,
Oh,
yeah, you and I are wrestling, and your family's there to watch you wrestling. Did that make you extra nervous for that match?
oh yeah, most definitely. The match happened in Brakpan, by the way.
Brakpan.
But yeah, but yeah, with my family in there, dude, I had to make sure that I put on a good showing for them to show them that hey, you guys believed in me, and this is
Mm.
the reason why you believed in me.
Right, right.
So I put that extra pressure on myself to put on a good match for them and tell a good story for them. Um, so that they can walk out of them and be like, yo, like my child, they entertain me. I never thought they could do this, but they entertain me. Like
Yeah,
I'm sold to what he's doing, you know. Um,
get you.
when when you have someone like my family who are fully supporting the dreams that I would like to follow, like the wrestling. So they 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 expect to see, like results basically of what you've been doing. And I wanted to show them that, yo, okay, you believe in me, and this is the work that I put out so
Yeah,
far
yeah,
at that point. And when I pinned you for the 1, 2, 3, man, the look on their faces when I went to them in the crowd, dude, my little sister, she looked at me dead in the eyes, dude, and she that smile that she put on, I was like, damn, okay, she's proud of me.
yeah, yeah,
Um, that's a feeling that everyone looks for in their family members, whether it be your mom, your sister, your dad. When I got that look of like, I'm proud of you,
yeah.
that's when I was like, yeah, I did my job. I did my
Right,
job.
right. Now, there was a moment that you had with JDX before you be not in where the ring was, just the entranceway where we were making our entrances. I'd already gone through to the back, and he caught you there, yeah, in the entranceway. What did he say to you? What did he say to
I might not remember correctly. I was on a high that day.
you? Mhm.
Um, But when I walked in the back, obviously you get your handshakes that you go through. But then I went to him and I hugged him, and then he said, "I'm proud of you. You know, I'm proud of you. Now you've worked hard for this and you've earned it. Now it's your time to show the people why you were put in the spot. You know."
Yeah, yeah. I see you getting a little bit
I,
I see you
yeah,
getting
yeah,
a bit emotional there, man.
yeah. It's one of those moments where it's like, you, I needed those words.
Right,
You know,
right,
um, for a long time, I've actually wanted to hear those words from someone,
right.
and to think that I heard those words from someone who took me in and showed me the way. You know,
Yeah.
that 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 means a lot to me, dude. Of course, I'm gonna get emotional about it. I love the guy.
Right. No, we're coming up to the end of 2024. When you look back over the year and you look back at your matches and how you conducted business in the ring and your training and things like that, how would you, out of 10, how much would you rate your year as in terms of the overall package of your professional wrestling?
Mm, I would say I'll put it an eight, seven
Okay.
or eight there.
Right.
Mostly because there were some matches that I'm not proud of.
Hmm.
There are some moments that I could have looked back and be like, okay, I could have done better here and there, maybe taken control here, maybe slowed down here, maybe worked on this somewhere. I definitely know that I need to improve on my in-ring psychology, selling to the crowd, basically getting them behind me and everything. I need to work on that. I definitely need to work on my promo skills as well. Because like I said, I'm like an Andrade, I can put on a good match, but cutting a promo is not really my strong suit. Mm, but otherwise, I'm content with my progression currently.
All right, good stuff. After the break, we're going to take a bit of a break now. After the match, we're going to play some fantasy booking with Mr. Matthew Price. We're gonna put together a few scenarios for him. We're going to talk about his dream match and a few fantasy bookings and things like that. And then we're going to talk about his future, what he wants to achieve for 2025 and beyond. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. Once again, follow us on all our social medias and our guest, the HWA South African champion, Mr. One of One, Matthew Price. Matthew, before the break, we were talking about your matches and how you rated your year and things like that. So let's do a bit of fantasy booking. Okay. 2025 now is coming up and beyond and things like that. In 2025, who is the wrestler, the local wrestler from any promotion who you'd like to face in a fantasy match? Who would it be?
In the company I'm in currently, which is in the National Wrestling Federation, I would say I haven't wrestled Quinn Latman the third. I
Hmm.
would love to wrestle him. I've been watching him for like since the beginning. He's really improved from the first match he had and the second match that he had to the match he had recently at Mall of Tembisa.
Yeah,
It's definitely improved. He's levels above where he was at the beginning and he where he was at the beginning of the year.
yeah,
So I would definitely like to step in the ring with him, like and learn from him, learn how he what helped him progress, and improve in the ring, improve on the mic,
yeah,
improve on his character. I'd definitely have to learn from him. Um, Another one is Johnny B. I've had the chance to work him once in Eastern Cape. But back then we were rookies, like just starting off basically.
Yeah, yeah,
I'd love to see how he has progressed from where we were to where he is now, you know.
yeah, yeah,
Um, Outside of our company, I would look at Wade, Wade on the cards.
right.
I could definitely see myself working with him. We could put on a good match.
Yeah, yeah,
Another one is the Great William. I've I've seen what he can do in the ring. He's really good technically. He's a really good technical worker.
hmm
Um, TJ Kramer, most definitely, I would love to work with him.
Yeah, yeah,
He's been going overseas. I saw him work James Storm recently.
yeah,
Man, man, I'm just proud of what he's doing for South African wrestling right now. You know, more South African wrestlers go overseas and put South African wrestling on the map like
yeah,
he
yeah,
is. I definitely like to work some of the guys in MCW. Um, Unfortunately, I'm not really that familiar with them. I still need to check out the stuff.
yeah.
But I've seen a guy they call Jam Jam. I've seen his work. I would love to work with him as well.
Right.
Um, there's a lot of people I could name right now, but let me keep the list at
I
that.
get you. I get you. Awesome. Awesome. Well, uh, Matt, with that HWA South African Championship over your shoulder there, I'm sure, man, there's many, many matches to come, and we wish you all the best. And yeah, so hopefully soon, sometimes our paths will cross again, and we can revisit our rivalry. You've got a victory, I've got a victory. So next match wins.
Rubber
There we go. There we
next
go.
match win.
There we go, man. Matt Price, once again, thank you very much. Courtesy of the National Wrestling Federation, the HWA South African Heavyweight Champion, Mr. One of One, Matthew Price, for myself, the Loudmouth, and Matthew Price. This has been Off the Top Rope. Make sure to follow us on also all our social medias, and we will see you next week, uncensored, uncut, and raw. Take care.